Hello, I'm Dr. Mustafa Fathi, and this is the third lecture of Basics of Treatment Planning. First of all, you can just take a screenshot for this important clarification regarding the decision making in orthodontics. And we will discuss today rule number 3, which is fourth extraction versus fives extraction in orthodontic case. So if we have a class 1 buccal segment, the most famous extraction pattern, if the case is indicated for extraction, is to extract upper and lower fours. So, for example, if you extracted upper and lower fours in moderate anchorage, you will achieve a class 1 canine and molar relationship, as we mentioned before. But there is a school of thought that in class 1 cases, you can extract upper fours, lower fives. So, why do we extract upper fours, lower fives? This is maybe a debatable point, but some orthodontists prefer to extract upper fours, lower fives. So this is because of the anchorage balance of the lower incisors is different from the upper incisor. So the anchorage balance is calculated by the root surface area. So, for example, if we mention the root surface area for the lower incisors and the canine against the 4 and 5, 6, and 7 in case of extraction 4. So if we calculated the anchorage balance for these teeth, we will find it maybe more toward the posterior teeth. So this means that the anterior will be retracted more than the posterior moves that will move in a forward direction. But if we moved the 4 to be with the anteriors and we extracted lower 5, so now the anchorage balance may be equal. So some orthodontists prefer, even in a solid class 1 cases, to extract upper 4 and lower 5, not upper 4, lower 4. So if we have a half unit class 2, so we will extract upper 4, lower 5, as we mentioned before. What will happen if we extracted upper 4, lower 4, not lower 5? If you have a half unit class 2 and you extracted lower 4, so you will expect a more posterior movement for the lower anteriors than the mesial movement of the posterior teeth in the lower arch. So in this case, the lower 4, if it extracted, the lower canine will move more than half unit. So here the canine relationship will be more than full unit, as shown in the animation. So if you extracted in the upper arch for maximum anchorage, you will not be able to achieve a class 1 relationship. We will always have maybe a quarter unit or maybe a class 2 component. You will correct it with maybe class 2 elastics. So we always prefer to extract upper fours, lower fives. If you have a half unit class 2, upper fours, lower fives. Even if you have a quarter unit class 2 and you are using a moderate anchorage in an extraction case, it's also better to extract upper fours, lower fives, because the same will apply, and you may have a more anterior, more movement for the lower anteriors than the posterior mesial movement. So it's better to extract upper fours, lower fives, so as to achieve class 1 easily at the end of treatment. But there is an exception for this case. If you have a half unit class 2 and you have a severe crowding in the upper and lower arch, so here there's no any benefit from extracting lower 5. If you have a severe lower arch crowding, you will need to extract near the crowding area. So here you will extract upper fours, lower fours, not lower fives, because there is no movement, there is no retraction in the lower arch. You will use all the space in relief to relieve the crowding in the lower arch. So you will use tags in the upper and lower arch, and you will achieve a half unit class 2, end up with a half unit class 2. So you will correct this half unit class 2 later on by many ways, maybe class 2 elastics, many different ways. We will discuss it later. But in this case, there is no benefit from extracting lower 5 because you don't have retraction. You will use all the space in the crowding, and you will just have to work to correct the half unit class 2 with any of the means that will be mentioned later. The simplest way is class 2 elastics if the case is indicated. Thank you. Always remember to keep your decision simple and safe. See you in the next rule.